The ABA Women's Riot, 1929, an eyewitness account. The sun was barely up, painting the sky over ABA a soft orange, when the air began to hum with something restless. I'm Kechi, a yam seller in the bustling market of ABA, and I swear the earth itself felt different that morning in November 1929. The palm trees swayed like they were whispering secrets, and the usual chatter of traders setting up their stalls was drowned out by a low, angry murmur. It was the kind of murmur that makes your stomach tighten, like you know something big is coming but can't quite name it. For weeks, we'd heard rumors. The white men, the British colonial officers, were up to something again. They'd been poking their noses into our lives for years, taxing our men, taking our land, telling us how to live. But this time, it wasn't just the men they were after. Word had spread like wildfire through the villages. They were coming for us, the women. They wanted to count us, they said, to tax us too. Tax us. The ones who tilled the soil, fed the children, and kept the markets alive. The ones who carried the weight of our families while the men were forced to bow to the district officers. It was too much. I was at my stall, arranging my yams in neat piles, when I heard the first shouts. "They're counting women in a local," a voice cried, sharp and urgent. It was Adiku, my neighbor, her wrapper tied tight around her waist, her eyes wide with fury. "They sent warrant chiefs to count us like goats. They want our money, our sweat." The market froze for a moment, then erupted. Women dropped their baskets, their voices rising like a storm. I felt my heart pound. Counting us meant more than taxes. It meant they thought they could own us, control us. By noon, the market was a sea of women, hundreds of us, maybe thousands. We spilled out from ABA's market square, our wrappers bright against the dusty roads. Old women with walking sticks, young mothers with babies tied to their backs, girls barely old enough to weave their own hair, we were all there. I saw Mbik, the palm wine seller, her face fierce as she waved the stick in the air. "We won't let them," she shouted. "They can't take what's ours." The crowd roared back, a sound that made the ground shake. We marched toward the district office, our feet pounding the earth like a drumbeat. Some women sang war songs, their voices raw and strong, the kind of songs our grandmothers sang when they faced enemies long ago. Others chanted, "No tax. No tax." I joined in, my voice hoarse, my hands clenched. We weren't just angry, we were done. Done with the warrant chiefs, those men the British picked to lord over us, men who'd grown fat on bribes while our people suffered. Done with the white men who looked at us like we were nothing. When we reached the district office, it was like a dam broke. The building stood there, all high and mighty with its whitewashed walls, but we weren't afraid. Women climbed the fence, shouting curses at the officers inside. I saw Neoma, the quiet one who sold fish, hurl a stone that cracked a window. The crowd cheered, and more stones followed. The air was thick with dust and defiance. Some women tore at the fence, others banged on the walls with sticks and hoes. I grabbed a yam from my basket and threw it hard. It hit the door with a thud, and for a moment, I felt like I could bring the whole place down myself. The British officers inside looked scared, their faces pale as they peeked through the windows. The warrant chiefs, those traitors, tried to hide, but we knew who they were. "Come out," we shouted. "Face us." Some women began what we called sitting on a man, surrounding a chief's house, singing mocking songs, refusing to leave until he felt our anger. It wasn't just noise, it was power. We were showing them we wouldn't bend. The chaos spread beyond ABA. Women from nearby villages, Engwa, Umwahia, even as far as Owerri, joined us. They came with their own stories of warrant chiefs who demanded too much, of taxes that left families hungry. By December, the roads were alive with our marches. We burned court buildings, broke into prisons to free those locked up unjustly. The British called it a riot, but to us, it was a war, a women's war, Ogo Omongoniai. We weren't fighting with guns, our weapons were our voices, our numbers, our refusal to be silent. But the British fought back. One day, as we gathered near the ABA native court, soldiers appeared, their guns glinting in the sun. The crowd didn't back down, even when they raised their rifles. I stood shoulder to shoulder with Adiku, my heart racing but my feet rooted to the ground. "Let them shoot," someone yelled. "We are many." But then the shots came, loud, sharp cracks that tore through the air. Women screamed, some fell. I saw blood on the ground, and my breath caught. They killed dozens of us that day, maybe more. I still see their faces sometimes, brave women who stood tall until the end. The days that followed were heavy with grief, but also with pride. We'd shaken the British. They stopped the women's tax, and some of the worst warrant chiefs were sacked. The colonial officers started looking at us differently, not just as market women, but as a force. We didn't win everything, but we showed them our strength, the kind that comes from the heart of a people who won't be broken. As I sit at my stall now, arranging my yams, I can still hear the echoes of our songs, feel the heat of that day. The market is quieter now, but the women of ABA carry a fire inside us. We know what we're capable of. And if they ever try to tax us again, they'll find us ready, our voices loud, our feet marching, our spirits unbroken.